العلم أشراف مطلوب وطالبه لله أكرام من يمشي على قدمه. العلم نور مبين يستضيء به أهل السعادات والجهال في الظلم.
When a person is getting married, in general, they don't look at the family. They just look at the individual. If he's a good individual or not, if he's a good person, good practicing Muslim or not. Like, what they should also look at is the lineage that they come from, the family that they come from. Because somewhere along the line, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blesses the family with, or the couple with children, the children are obviously going to be related to both sides of their families, of the mother's side and paternal and the maternal. So if one of the partners, one of the wife or the husband is from a family that mathalan isn't practicing, then there'll be problems later on. For example, if the husband isn't practicing and the wife marries him, or if the husband is practicing, if the husband is practicing, like in the family are not practicing, later on, mathalan, they can have a birthday party, or they can have a wedding in the family and it's going to be a mixed wedding, mathalan. And the brother's husband or the wife is expected to go to her husband's what? Family. And then they may have an issue with her not mingling with the men in the family and not sitting on the table with everyone else when they're having dinner. Or the fact that she's not shaking the hands of her brothers-in-law. Or the fact that she's got the niqab on, mathalan. So the family mean a lot. I know obviously when you're getting married, these are not things that you're looking at initially, because you're thinking, I'm only marrying this person. Like, and it's very important to look at the lineage. So take that into consideration. When you marry a person, you're also marrying their family. A lot of times the family could be the make or break of the marriage. A lot of times the couple have an argument and you will find that the family are so just, or both families are just, that they put everyone in their place and they say, you're wrong for this and this reason, even if it's their daughter, or you're right for this and this reason, and they're just. And then the love and affection carries on. Like, and sometimes you will find that the family sides with, mathalan, the daughter's family, they side with the daughter. Why? Because of the lack of religion or lack of understanding. And then later on there's problems between the two couples. That's why it's also important to visit the family before actually marrying or before actually going ahead with the nikah. And obviously a lot of cultures actually get to know one another before the nikah. So everything that you will see now is like almost the basic necessity or the basic tariqah, the method for getting married. Like in all of the other things that come with, or not baggage, like in all of the other things that are done by way of culture, then they're all permissible. لماذا? What qa'idah can we implement to say that it's permissible? الأصل في الأشياء الإباحة. الأصل في الأشياء الإباحة. So in some cultures you will find that once the boy and the girl agree, the families visit one another, and the families get to know one another, and they have dinner with one another. The families, in order to get to know one another. There's no problem in that, as long as it doesn't يخالف الشرع, as long as it doesn't contradict anything from the Sharia. So all of the things that we'll come across now, they are basic necessities. So everyone should be implementing what we're going to mention, especially in the next chapter when we're talking about the conditions of nikah. لحسبها lineage وجمالها, and also a woman is married for her beauty. Why? Because if a person is beautiful, everyone has taste. Everyone has a taste. What Fulan finds beautiful, Fulan may not necessarily find beautiful, and what Fulan finds beautiful, Fulan may not find beautiful. Ala kulli hal, Jamal is very important, lakin it shouldn't be made to be the end all and be all, because Jamal, it goes away. Beauty, it goes away. Also, beauty is in the eyes of the beholder. So Jamal, طبعا should be looked at. Lakin, in this society that we live in, out of all of these four, Jamal is probably the one that is looked at most. And then later on, people complain when they marry a bland individual, lakin she's beautiful or he may have some sort of beauty. وَلِدِينِهَا, and for her religion. And this is the most important attribute that a person should marry a woman for. That's why the Messenger ﷺ said, فَضْفَرْ بِالذَّاتِ دِينٍ. So the Messenger ﷺ encouraged a person to marry, encouraged us to marry the woman with the most religion. طيب, what does it mean, ذات الدين? What does it mean when someone has a religion? Or someone who possesses religion? What does it mean? Huh? And? Someone who comes with the wajibat. And? أحسنت. فعل الواجبات وترك المنهيات. Doing the wajibat and leaving off the muharramat. So it doesn't necessarily mean that she has to be a student of knowledge or she has to be a shaykha. Naam. As long as she is a practicing Muslimah, then that is enough. And the more religion a person has, the better. طيب. What about khuluq? Khuluq isn't mentioned in the hadith, صح? أحسنت. It comes under deen. Khuluq comes under deen. كان خلقه القرآن وإنك لعلى خلق عظيم وخالق الناس بخلق حسن. So it's very, very important for a person to have beautiful akhlaq.
So can someone say that the khuluq comes from the hasad from the family?
It can. لكن hasab is general. لكن khuluq specific to the individual. طيب. So it's very important for a person to have khuluq. To be honest, in this day and age, a lot of people complain about practicing brothers and sisters or practicing people in general. And they say that they look down upon everyone else. And that's a reality. Yani. Not everyone. Like there's a small minority of people that look down upon those people who are not on the same level of them in terms of practicing or may fall into sins from time to time. And that is haram. Looking down upon someone is haram. It may be that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala trials you with that sin that they're committing, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes them a righteous person. What is needed from the Muslim is to have beautiful manners and to encourage people to do good and to be example to them and to make dua for them and to teach them that repenting, or to tell them that repenting or tawbah is open for them no matter what, and there's nothing preventing them from repenting. So it's wajib for a person to have good khuluq. And that is not only with the outside world, like also in your home. Some brothers specifically, when they go outside, akhlaq tayyibat, mashallah. Like when he goes home and he's with his wife, it's like a shaitan in the house. Sah? It's true, they probably are sisters like that as well. Like in most cases it happens with the brothers. And I don't know if it's because there's a false understanding where the brother or the husband has to be rough and tough in the house. In some cultures, people tell you that you have to be rough and tough in the house, otherwise the woman's going to take you for a weakling. And you have to obviously show her that you're a man. You have to show her who wears the trousers in the house. And you have to show her that you're not an easy ride or an easy walk. All of that is kalam fariq, ma fi shay. It's nonsense. It is nonsense. The Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam said the best of you is the best to his women folk. خيركم خيركم للنسائه أو لنسائهم كما قال صلى الله عليه وسلم. So that's important, that when a person is getting married, they need to know that this individual that they're getting married to, that's someone's daughter, that's someone's sister. someone has been struggling with raising her and making her a righteous Muslimah for the last 20, 18, 22, 23 years. So just like this man was honouring her as his daughter, respecting her, then he gives her to you, because the daughters are more precious than sons, by the way. Daughters are more precious than sons. Fathers love their daughters more than their sons. That's a reality. So when a man gives you his daughter, he is giving you a part of him. He is giving you a part of him. The very, very, very least you could do is honour her. The very least you could do. For someone giving you a daughter, that's a sign of him loving you and honouring you. And the very least you could do is to respect that contract and to honour her and preserve her and also her family. And the good Muslim, or the good husband in general, the good Muslim, is the one that takes the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam as a good example. لَقَدْ كَانَ لَكُمْ فِي رَسُولِ اللَّهِ أُسْوَةٌ حَسَنَةٌ. There's a good example in the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And you often find that if women get together, if 20 women get together and they each talk about their husbands, about 18 of them have got about 150 negative things to say about their husbands. And that's a reality. Like we should be from those two, not from the 18. Fadl.
How would you advise us specifically in making sure we are from those who have good manners in the home and not just outside the home?
Look into the hadith of the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The hadith of the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He was kind to his wives. Even when Aisha got angry, and one of the wives of the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam brought food over to the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam whilst he had guests in the house of Aisha, Aisha hit it out of her hand, or the person that brought the food, and the plate broke. Did the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam get angry? No, the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam did not get angry. So the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam was gentle with her, and he asked her to replace what she had broken. So in order to live in peace and harmony with your wife, you deal with her in a gentle manner. And these akhlaq, you learn them from the Quran and the Sunnah. When look into the tafsir of لَقَدْ كَانَ لَكُمْ فِي رَسُولِ اللَّهِ أُسْوَةٌ حَسَنَةٌ. As a Muslim, there's a perfect example. As a husband, there's a perfect example in the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam. As a father, there's a perfect example in the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So look into the life of the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam and how he treated his wives, how he was just between them. طيب. And also how he used to method and joke around with Aisha, and how he used to raise her. So these akhlaq, it doesn't take, it's not rocket science to do. It's not something which is difficult. And for some reason, if the two individuals see each other as enemies, then you will find that outside the akhlaq is really beautiful. Like when they come into the house, it's like they're trying to start a fire. So it's easy to implement having good manners with the wife, or vice versa. Like looking into the Quran and the Sunnah, that is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made wajib upon us. طيب. So the religion, نعم فعل الواجبات أن ترك فعل الواجبات وترك المنهيات. When you're choosing a wife, by choosing the one with the most religion, then you have fulfilled the rights of your children. And likewise, when a woman is looking for a righteous husband, she has fulfilled some of the rights of her children to be. The rights of the children don't start when they're born. The rights of the children start when you want to look for someone to marry, when you're looking for their mother, or when you're looking for their father. That's when the rights start. And the reason why the deen, sahibat deen is given precedence over the jamal and the wealth and so on? Because all of these things go. Wealth, it goes. Jamal, it goes. The lineage is probably the thing that stays the longest. Like with regards to the religion, then you're living in the home 24/7. And the mother is the awwal madrasa, is the first madrasa that a child studies in, that a child learns from. So if a mother has got knowledge and is a practicing Muslimah, then her children, you will find that will want to be just like her. Look into the example of mathalan, every one of us knows women that wear the hijab. Their daughters want to wear the hijab just like them. If the mother wears the niqab, you will find that the daughter wants to wear the niqab just like the mother. Also, the righteous woman will preserve for you your dunya and your deen. Your deen and your dunya. So if the husband wants to do something which is haram or take wealth from somewhere which is haram, then she'll tell him to fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Likewise, if the wife wants to do so, then the husband will also tell her to fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And say to him, وَيَتَّقِ اللَّهَ يَجْعَلْ لَهُ مَخْرَجًا. The one that fears Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah gives an exit from every hardship. So when you're looking for a spouse, the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that a person should look for that deen. طيب. How can a person implement this hadith? How can a person implement this hadith? The scholars rahmatullahi alayhim ajma'in say that a person should look for the first three traits first. The wealth, or the hasab, the lineage, and the jamal. If that satisfies him, if he's pleased with that, then he should finally look at what? The religion. Whether she's a righteous Muslimah or not. If she's a righteous Muslimah, he goes ahead, marries her. If she's not, then he leaves it off. Doesn't marry her. In that case, his acceptance and his refusing is based upon what? The deen. So that's how they say that a person can implement this hadith. Also from the things that from the traits that a person should look for in a wife is al-wudud. The Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Tazawwaju al-wadud al-walud, fa inni mukathirun bikum al-umam." Marry those women that are the affectionate and the fertile women. Those women that give birth, that have children a lot, and those that love their husbands. طيب. As for loving their husbands, it's understandable. طيب. Lakin, how can someone know if a woman who's never been married is fertile, if she has a lot of children? Look at the...
She's fertile.
Yani she can have a lot of children if she has children in abundance. How can a person know? And if she's never been married before. طبعا if she's been married before, you can tell if she's got children or not. Lakin if she's never been married before, virgin, by looking into her family, مثلا her mother and her sisters. And subhanAllah, you will find that if a person, in every one family, if there's a lot of siblings, each of those siblings, when they get married, they'll have a lot of children, naturally. And a lot of things go back to the custom of the family. There's a masala that we passed in Kitab al-Tahara, similar to this. Can anyone remember? Dam al-istihada. Masalat dam al-istihada. Goes back to the custom of her family. طيب. So these are also some of the traits that a person should look for in a wife. Fertile, there's a masala when they're talking about this, that they say, can a person prevent or say, I'm not going to have children? And scholars say, if a person says they're not going to have children in totality, then that is haram. Like, and if they're saying, I'm going to raise my children and leave a 2, 3, 4 year gap, then that is permissible. Lakin, that has to be with permission of the other spouse. So the father cannot use contraception, the husband cannot use contraception if the wife isn't aware, and the wife can't use contraception if the husband isn't aware. طيب. The next masala is وَإِذَا وَقَعَ فِي قَلْبِهِ طيب. Lakin, we'll stop there inshallah. Firstly, give a few minutes for question and answers. Secondly, obviously you've been here since 1 something, so we'll stop there. Wabillahi tawfiq.